Hello my viewers, welcome back to the channel. By the video title, you know what this video is about. Today we're discussing, of course, some Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Of course, still waiting on training camps to officially start. It should be starting, I think, in June, right? Training camps officially start, but the schedule release is going to happen, of course, I think in a few weeks. We've seen a few games be released on the schedule, which is an international game for the Steelers to be playing the Vikings. It said that on September 28th, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I don't know if I got the Ireland accent right, but Steelers will play the Vikings in Dublin, Ireland on September 28th. But that's going to be interesting. I think the Vikings playing back-to-back in Dublin, Ireland. But the Steelers will play there. And that'd be different. I don't think the Steelers ever played an international game like that, right? I don't think so. Like in recent history, I don't think so. So that game right there is going to be, I think for people in the States, it will be, around like 8:30 maybe? By 8:30 in the morning. Maybe 8:30 in the morning, depending on where you're at. 9:30 in the morning, maybe. So around that time. So yeah, make sure on September 28th, you guys are ready. This is a week 4 game. Yeah, it's week 4, so it's very early in the season. So we'll see what happens. Now the Steelers schedule. I think the schedule release is on the 25th, if I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure. NFL schedule release is on the. It's on the. It said Wednesday. When is the schedule release? Come on, just tell me. On May 14th. Okay, actually, it's this Wednesday. Okay, I mixed the days up. So it's tomorrow, actually. So the schedule release is tomorrow. So we'll see what happens and who the Steelers face in their first game. I'm thinking it's probably a division opponent. Usually the first games be division opponent sometimes, but it depends. Last year, our first game was Falcons. Yeah, Falcons. We played the Falcons last year on the road. I think this year might be a division opponent again. They usually do here and there and stuff, unless it's somebody just out of the ordinary. But we'll see who it is. I know the Steelers' opponents, of course. We look at our basically our schedule a little bit. The Steelers have their home opponents. Of course, you play the Ravens and Bengals and Browns all twice, but you have the Bills at home. You have the Packers at home. You got the Colts at home, Miami Dolphins, Minnesota Vikings, and the Seattle Seahawks. So you got some pretty good teams you got to play at home. And then away, of course, Browns, Bengals, Ravens, of course. But you also have the Bears, the Lions, the Chargers, the Patriots, and the Jets. So overall, the schedule is pretty tough schedule. A solid schedule. It said it's ranked the 10th most difficult schedule in NFL based off the records of the previous season. It said the total combined wins and losses for the teams the Steelers play in 2025 is 152 to 137 losses. So 152 wins for the team. They have a winning record. So we're playing some teams that are some playoff guys. Because you look at the teams, Ravens made the playoffs, of course. Bengals had a winning record. They made the playoffs, but they had a winning record. The Bills made the playoffs. Packers made the playoffs. Vikings made the playoffs. Seahawks had a winning record. They was 10-7, but they missed the playoffs. But you play, of course, the Ravens again, who made the playoffs. And then you got the Bengals, like I mentioned, winning record. You had the Lions made the playoffs. Chargers made the playoffs. And then you got the Patriots and Jets. Yeah, you can't worry about those guys too much. And the Bears, of course, we'll see what happens. We'll see how they look now. But overall, pretty tough schedule. You know, we got some good opponents we playing, so we have to see what happens. Of course, we playing the entire NFC North at that this season, so we'll see what goes on. I think last year we played the NFC South, right? No, not the South. We played somebody. We played some team last year. Was it it was the NFC something? It was the AFC West. We played, I think, we played the Browns. The Broncos, the Chiefs, the Raiders, and Chargers. We played all of them last year. I think we only lost to the Chiefs. That's the only team we lost to. And then we played other teams like picked from different spots and stuff. But we'll see what happens, of course. We'll see who our first opponent is. I can see it definitely being a division opponent, like the Steelers versus the Bengals week 1 or something. Or, unless they wanted to get real spicy or something, do something crazy, have the Steelers and Packers. But I don't think they had that week 1. That might be like a primetime game because that's gonna be good. And then you look at maybe the Steelers play the Patriots. We played the Patriots a few times first season. We usually lose to the Patriots because I don't know how. But the Patriots always find a way to beat us, even without Tom Brady. I don't know. But we'll see what goes on. But I also want to discuss a little bit of the roster moves they made, of course. Steelers made a few roster moves yesterday. Afternoon. The Steelers signed running back Max Herblin. And, of course, Trey Sermon got signed. Of course, that. And offensive tackle Garrett Warren got signed. So all three took part in Team Rookies minicamp. The team also released running back Aaron Chaplin. It's Herblin appeared in 51 games in 5 college seasons, started in 23. He had 194 carries for 814 yards and 1 touchdown. He also hailed for his punt return ability, returning 49 punts for 353 yards on a 7.2 yard average. It said Hurlman spent his first 4 seasons at Colgate University before transferring to Notre Dame in 2024, where he played mainly on special teams. So we have him on the roster now. I mentioned Trey Sermon already. You know, he played with the Colts a little bit and stuff like that. You know, Trey Sermon been around a little bit with the Eagles as well for Niners and stuff. I mentioned that injury to his ACL kind of messed him up, but over the past 2 years, he's been playing a little better as a Couple Mary type back. So we'll see what happens. I think Cordell Patterson is still on the roster, so hopefully one of these young guys can beat him out. Because Cordell Patterson, don't get me wrong, he's a Hall of Famer, but he didn't really bring us anything because he's a little older in his career. He was injured a lot of times last year. He didn't really give us anything last year. Nothing special on kick return or punt return, anything like that. Nothing special on offense. He was out there, nothing too crazy. So hopefully one of the young guys can step up and take his spot and be more of a use in that third back role, but we'll see. But that's basically all the news I have today. Still the same story, same stuff about Aaron Rodgers. Some people speculate that he will be coming here. Like I said, Steelers former receivers saying it, but I think it was Antonio Brown they're talking about, which is not a credible source. He got CTE. We call himself CTE, ESPN. It's not really a credible source. So yeah, I'm not gonna discuss that. But we'll see if Aaron Rodgers appear here or the Steelers go with the route of getting all the young guys. I mean, go with the young guys, Mason Rudolph and Will Howard, and then bringing Tyler Huntley and letting those guys go out there. I think all those guys would be like 27 and under. 28, I think Mason Rudolph might be 29, maybe. I know all those guys under 30, so have all those guys competing against each other and seeing who's the best at the bunch, and then going out there and seeing what we can do with the best of what we got. But that's all I have to say in this video. Let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Peace out.